YouTube? We're back with another episode of What the Hell Am I Doing? Today, we're back with spicy sports betting. It's big UFC tonight. It's the return of Jon Jones. That's right, Jon Jones. It's a name from the past. It's a big blast from the past, really, when you think about it. It's now been 3 years since his last fight. He fought in early 2020. And that's the last we've seen of Jon Jones. The last 3 years, he's apparently been getting ready to move up to heavyweight. And, well, that moment finally came after a lot of doubt, really. I mean, if you ask me, I was starting to doubt him. I was starting to think it was just talk and he was actually never going to come back, especially while Francis Ngannou was around. And once Ngannou left the UFC, it seemed like things maybe changed a bit. And obviously the scope of things for Jon Jones obviously changed drastically. But all of a sudden he started to become a little more serious. And, fast forward, here we are. He's fighting Ciryl Gane for the vacant heavyweight title because Francis Ngannou is no longer part of the UFC. So it's an interesting time. And Jon Jones chose to come back at this time. Now, he is bigger. Is he 3 years worth of work bigger? You guys will have to decide. I mean, he is definitely thicker, especially when you see him flex like this. Yeah, he does look thicker. I don't know if he's that big, though. I don't know if he's heavyweight big. He could probably still cut down to 205 if he wanted to. So, I don't know. I don't know what I think. I think Jon Jones, he's been away from the game for a long time, which is a little scary for me because he's not young anymore. He's 35 now. So he is definitely either at the very end of his prime or he's out of his prime. And he's at that point where sometimes I don't like it because if guys are away from the game that long at this point, this is when a lot of guys start to decline. And it's one thing if you decline gradually, fight over fight over fight, if you keep fighting. It's another thing if you fight and you take 2-3 years off and then you come back and you have no idea what you're dealing with anymore. Training is one thing, fighting is another. Now, Jon Jones is special. Jon Jones is a special character, and he is one of the best of all time MMA fighters. So that's what makes this interesting. He isn't exactly old yet, but he could be on his way out. His last couple of fights at light heavyweight were not impressive. He broke... Thiago Santos, sorry, I forgot his name for a second there. Thiago Santos had two bum legs by the end of the fight, and Jon Jones barely beat him. Some think he lost that fight. It was very close. So it's interesting what to expect from him now after all this time. And the problem is that he's fighting a guy named Ciryl Gane, who just fought Francis Ngannou for the heavyweight title in his last 2 fights ago, I think, now for Ciryl Gane. And obviously he lost that fight. Ciryl Gane is a scary dude. He put Francis Ngannou in a position where Francis Ngannou had to wrestle. And Francis wanted to stand and bang. So think about that. He's got power. He's definitely dangerous on his feet. But one thing that's suspect in Ciryl Gane's game is the wrestling. He made Francis Ngannou wrestle him, and Francis Ngannou doesn't wrestle. He doesn't wrestle. And he still was able to control the rest of the fight once he started wrestling to win the fight and, become heavyweight champion again. So Ciryl Gane has a real issue with wrestling. And one thing I know about this matchup is that even though in the stand-up Ciryl Gane could probably knock out Jon Jones, he could probably rough him up and beat him up. One thing Jon Jones, even in the stand-up, does have as an advantage is his reach. He's got like a 9-inch advantage, I think, and his kicks. He's very dirty with the kicks, even though they're legal. He likes to kick the knees. He likes to hyperextend the knees. Stuff like that could really hurt a heavyweight. So I wouldn't be surprised if he tries stuff like that. But what I really think is going to happen is I think that Jon Jones is going to wrestle the crap out of Ciryl Gane. He's going to try to anyways. Now, one thing I don't know, will he be able to hold him down? Will he be able to actually control him? I don't know. We'll find out tonight. But if he does, Jon Jones wins the fight hands down, just from control. If he cannot control the fight, if he can't even get it down, then Ciryl Gane's going to win the fight. Ciryl Gane put Ngannou into wrestling mode. Just remember that. He is dangerous on his feet. If Jon Jones chooses to fight him on his feet, he's going to have to be very careful. He's going to have to use that range. Because Ciryl, if he catches Jon Jones, it'll be over for Jones. If he can pummel on Jones, it'll be over for Jones at some point. So I do think it's a risky fight, but I think this is a very calculated fight for Jon Jones. And I think he's going to end up using wrestling to a major advantage to win the fight. So I'm going to make a bet on this fight. I'm going to do, we're going to do that Flaming Hot Challenge again since we didn't do it last time. So if Jon Jones loses the fight, I will do a quarter dropper of death shots in the Flaming Hot Cheetos macaroni. That's my punishment if I lose the fight. Now, there's 2 other fights on the card. I really should have done these ones first, but I was just so excited about Jon Jones fighting tonight. I just started talking about Jon Jones. We got Valentina Shevchenko versus Alexa Grasso, and we've got Bo Nickal versus Jamie Pickett, both in their first real UFC fight. So of these 2 remaining fights, Valentina Shevchenko, she's a dominant champion. She's been a dominant champion. Her last fight, she had a little bit of trouble, actually, and that was the closest she'd been to losing or even having a bit of trouble in a long time. But that being said, I think she outclasses Alexa Grasso in a lot of ways. I think that she can win pretty much any way she wants. She can control the fight. She can stand up and beat her that way. I think she's the better fighter, hands down. So I will bet a teaspoon of Champ's Power Flakes in the Flaming Hot Cheetos if Valentina Shevchenko should lose to Alexa Grasso. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think Valentina's going to win by stoppage. So I'm betting on her. So the last fight is going to be Bo Nickal versus Jamie Pickett. Both these guys are from the Dana White Contender Series, which, by the way, I love. I love watching that in the summer. I think it's awesome to have weeknight UFC fights. And a lot of them are exciting. Bo Nickal had a pretty dominant run on that show, so he definitely rightfully earned his place in the UFC. And he starts off the pay-per-view tonight fighting Jamie Pickett. Jamie Pickett's also from the show. One thing about Jamie Pickett is I think he was chosen to be an opponent for tonight. Obviously he has a chance to win the fight if somehow he could get a lucky shot. But the reality is that Jamie Pickett is suspect of guys that could take him down. And Bo Nickal is an NCAA champion wrestler. He's going to control him all night long. Unless he gets sloppy and gets caught and forgets how to wrestle or gets knocked off his game, I just don't see how it's going to go any differently. I think Bo Nickal controls him all night long. Easy win for Bo Nickal. I'll bet a teaspoon of Champ's Power Flakes in the Flaming Hot Cheetos should Jamie Pickett beat Bo Nickal. But he won't, because I'm picking Bo Nickal. So those are the picks for tonight. Should all 3 lose and I combine all the punishments together into one massive punishment, it's a Super Saturday. It's a Super Saturday for you guys, all 729 of you now. So I appreciate all of you subscribing to the channel. And if you're new to the channel, wondering what the hell this is a bonus little thing I do. It was how I started the channel, but now it's kind of a bonus thing for fun. Some of the viewers like watching me torture myself, so this is what I do. So I'm going to pick on the fights, and those are who I'm picking. Jon Jones, Valentina Shevchenko, and Bo Nickal. If any of them lose, come back next week to see punishment. If not, I got some other things lined up that I got to start getting out. Anyways, that's all the time we got. I got to get this rendered and uploaded, so make sure you guys subscribe to the channel there. Check out the last video, which is a really cool explore of a weird abandoned bungalow I found. Check it out. It has been untouched for years. And check out this random video here. We'll see you guys next week in the next video. Thanks for tuning in.